Well, I'm nothing if not transparent. So I'm here in my comfy shirt and my long johns and fuzzy socks, and I wanted to have a real talk about stuff, I guess. I was really blessed to meet and become friends with Mark White from the Mark White Show, and he interviewed me about an upcoming shoot that I'm doing, and it aired tonight. And I've been on the air before. I've been on the air in LA Talk Radio, and I was a DJ in my 20s, just in case people didn't know that about me, but I had a radio show back then, and I'm pretty comfortable on air. This one was a little bit of a hard topic. It's about domestic violence, and there are certain topics that people don't want to talk about. They get uncomfortable, and DV is certainly one of those topics. It's easy when you're on the outside looking in to say, some guy treated me like that, I'd be out. Why didn't you just leave? What's your problem? That's victim blaming and victim shaming, and it doesn't help. There are things going on kind of behind that curtain that you may not ever be aware of if you haven't experienced it. I've had abusive partners, toxic relationships, but forgive me, I'm on the couch with a Great Dane laying on my feet right now. But my most recent one was in Arizona, and I was trauma bonded almost instantly, which is very similar to Stockholm Syndrome. And I would have died for him. The problem is I wouldn't have lived for myself. And so it didn't last long. I've had relationships that have lasted a lot longer. This one was short. It was 7 months. And I look back at myself and go, man, you're a professional woman. You're a professional photographer. You are, you own a media company. You're a magazine publisher. You're an editor. You're a writer. You're an author. What are you doing? But it really was like I was brainwashed, and there was just this crazy spell over me that I would have done anything for him. When it finally ended, I would love to say that I came to my senses and I kicked him to the curb and I was out, but that wasn't the case. He actually left me, and I struggled for a long time with wanting him back. I had to go no contact. He's a narcissist and a sadistic. He's a sadist by his own admission. Sorry. Some of the stuff that he did was, sorry, choking me, hitting me, knocking some teeth loose. Whew, sorry. Just bad stuff. Sorry, this is about as real and transparent as I get. But that, the physical stuff was minor compared to the emotional. I was his property, according to him. He owned me. I had to send in photos of my bank statement. I was not allowed to go anywhere, not to dinner with friends, not to medical appointments, grocery store, nowhere, unless I asked permission. I had a total knee replacement in July 2018. I'm 53 years old, in case you're wondering. This is out of the shower, pajamas, no makeup, no filters, just as God intended. And when I had my total knee replacement, I was not allowed to take medication without letting him know, because I would fall asleep and miss a text or a call. I was not allowed to send him videos or photos or anything that would lag his phone. I was not allowed to call him without permission. I remember some distinct things, like my friend Brooke and I went to a Japanese drumming event at this thing. It was a beautiful event. I mean, just amazing. And I sent videos and pictures. I was completely enthralled, filled with joy, loved it. And I got in trouble for bogging down his phone, and I paid a big price for that night. So I'm a photographer, and I've worked in Hollywood for a long time. I have worked on the red carpet. I've worked with Phoenix Fashion Week with international designers like Albert Andrada and Rocky Gathercole, and just some remarkable people. And I worked in the media pit taking still photos, and I loved what I did. I'm not a girly girl. I need to preface that. You can ask anybody that knows me. I'd probably go to Walmart dressed like this. But when I worked in the media pit, I was able to see beautiful things, even though I wasn't living in like a beautiful type of life for myself. And when I was in Hollywood, it was great. These were, I don't know Beyonce. I need to preference that. This was not like I know Katy Perry or Lady Gaga, but I do know people from my childhood that were very important to me. Little Nellie Olson from Little House on the Prairie, and the wonderful Ed Asner, and Dawn Wells, who played Marianne on Gilligan's Island, and my bestest buddy. I sort of had two best friends in LA, and one I sadly lost this year, Irene Soderbergh, the remarkable Irene Soderbergh. May she rest in peace forever. The other was someone that I grew up hating, and that was Cousin Oliver on the Brady Bunch, right? Like, he ruined everything. But his name is Robbie Rist, and I adore and cherish that little nerd like you would have no idea. Him and his wife are absolutely precious to me. And so I felt like I was sort of living out this fantasy. I met people from American Horror Story and Criminal Minds, and I thought, how can my life be so meaningless? Why am I so worthless? And I can meet all these people and create these amazing pieces of art. And it was a real disconnect for me. I felt I had imposter syndrome pretty bad, where I was like, if people only knew, what I take in my private home life, they would be shocked. And when I moved here to get away from my abuser, my best friend, who I knew in Phoenix, now lives where I live in Alabama. And we're neighbors, and we've had our ups and downs over the years. But she is the Louise to my Thelma, the carrots to my peas. She's the other half of me. She's my guiding light, my North Star, my best friend. And I've loved her. I've been annoyed at her. Probably hated her for a minute or two, just like she has me. But she's an advocate in domestic violence. And when I finally was able to come clean about what had happened, shame is a big thing. And so she really didn't know until the end. And she stepped in, and I got some help. And I came here, and I got involved, and I plugged into therapy and groups. And I grew up in the South, just 3 hours from here in Mississippi. So I was like, okay, I'm going to, I get a redo. I'm going to start over. And it was horrible in the beginning. I pined for him. I longed for him. I wanted to hear from him. And then I didn't, And I decided about a year and 4 months ago that I wanted to give back to these organizations that have helped me, places I've volunteered over the years that help women in crisis. And so I asked about a dozen or so of my friends that have experienced DV. I said, if you had to pick an image, I'm a visual person as a photographer. I said, what does life look like after DV? Can you tell me? And man, they delivered like you have no idea, right? And so then I thought, how do I make that come true? And thankfully, God has blessed me richly with staff and colleagues and people of artistic credentials that would just blow your mind. And so I started searching. I knew they were here, and I knew I had them back there in Phoenix. And so I set up this remarkable team with my amazing hair and makeup artist, Toy Taylor, Kimmy Van Esseltine, who is my assistant and has become a hair and makeup artist and principal photographer in the Southwest. We have Lauren Lindholm here, remarkable hair and makeup artist. Brittany Kirby, who is absolutely stunning, so jealous. And so I started gathering people, and I said, let's see if we can do this. And so Rebirth 2020 came along. I started thinking about the people who were still suffering in silence, especially in the middle of a global pandemic. And I thought, let me show them that there's life on the other side. Let me show them. Let me give them a visual. And so we've planned this shoot. I can't share the location just for the safety's sake of these women, but they have given me ideas that have challenged me artistically. They have challenged my hair and makeup team. I've been on Zoom consults across the globe with people for how do we do this? How do we make this? Can it be done? I have been talking with Albert Andrada, who created the Miss Universe gown. I believe Albert's in Dubai. I've been on the phone. I've been on Facebook talking to my friend Victor Navarro, who has connections to Oscar-winning gowns. And I was like, I know it can be done. Let's figure out how. And so that's what's going to happen. We are going to transpose this secret location into an absolute wonderland of magic and mystery. This place has English ivy, and it has weeping willows and just gorgeous things to work with in nature, right? And so we're going to do it November 7th. It's going down. I have people flying in from Arizona, and you don't know who else might show up. You don't know what I've been doing behind the scenes. It's been about 14-hour work days for me for several, it feels like a life, for probably 2 months now. It's been very long work days for me. I went on Mark's show because I wanted to share my story. My story didn't end with my ex-abuser, and this really isn't about him. It's not about any of the abusers who affected these women. The story is about rising up. And I did a shoot one time in Hollywood, and I got breached on it. And I said, I have two ways of dealing with this. When these celebrities were calling me, I said, I can throw this other magazine under the bus and let them take the heat, or I can go high, as former First Lady Michelle Obama has said, and go high. And so I created a magazine called Salire, and it means it's Italian to rise. And I loved it so much that I got it tattooed right here. I don't know if you can see that. And the S in Salire is actually a phoenix rising from the ashes. And I look at this and say, you have risen up. You can rise up. Your story doesn't end here. In my case, I'm a woman of faith, and I know that God's plans far, far exceed anything that my brain can come up with. And I'm pretty darn imaginative. So we're gonna just, this is a huge theme production. This is not your average shoot. This is not hey, let's go down by the river and shoot me and my husband or my wife and my dog and my kids. I'm a narrative photographer, so when you look at my photos side by side, they're going to tell you a story. And art is subjective, right? I can't tell you what this look means or what it feels to you. I don't know. It's only you. I shoot it one way. The model might be feeling it a different way. It's all in the beholder's eye, right? So this fundraiser was set up because it does take a great deal of money. I've spent a lot of my own money in savings, which I'm so happy to do. But there are props that are needed to create this final look. Excuse, please forgive me. I'm so bad at doing videos because if I go like this, it's all about angles with a photographer. I go like this, I look like Jabba the Hutt, but it hurts my hand. Anyway, I'm weird like that. So forgive me for the shaking. But it does take a lot of money. I have people I need to pay. I have equipment I have to pay for. I have software I have to pay for. I have processing labs that I work with. This does take a great deal of money to do something of this extent on such a large scale. So I'm very transparent about things I purchase. I don't want people thinking that, this is all gonna, I don't know what people would think, but this is all something that I'm very transparent about. And the photos are going to go into an online gallery. We were going to do physical galleries, but we started talking about it, and I thought, there's a global pandemic on right now. Let's do it in an online gallery. And with that, we are able to do behind the scenes photos and videos of everyone going into makeup so you can see the actual process of what these remarkable artists will go through to put these models into the right look. I have the easy job. I really just snap the photos and edit them in post-production. But this is a huge collaborative team effort. And we are going, after the online gallery is on for a while, the photos are actually going to go up for sale. You're going to hear the stories of their abuse, what they've been through, how they are thriving, how they are crushing out the oppression of violence and abuse. And keep in mind, abuse has so many covers. It's not just someone getting hit. It is financial abuse where they control the purse strings. So many people will say, well, why didn't you just leave? Well, how can you when, he's controlling every single dime and you don't have a vehicle and you have no way to earn money because he's keeping a tab on everywhere that you go. There's so much shame involved in all of that. There's emotional, mental, spiritual abuse, sexual trauma. And keep in mind, and I say this all the time, men are not the only perpetrators. Men are victims of DV, and we're going to tell their story next year. And these photos will be available for purchase. These are high-end photos. My standard is incredibly high. I don't allow other photographers on set with me. We will not be allowing cell phones. I am very, very particular about how things are going to run. And so it's going to rise or fall on my shoulders, and my standards are just too high to let it fall. These photos will be available. You can hang them in your home. They are artwork. They are not just photos. And these women, if they are in hiding, is complete, total body modification transformation. This is not slapping some lip gloss on somebody with false eyelashes. This is turning them into the image that they embody themselves in. And that makes them amazing. These are not professional women. I have everyone from a teenager to a grandmother dealing with serious health issues. I love that you clicked on this and are still with me 19 minutes later. I'm a talker. I apologize. I would love if you would share these videos, share this GoFundMe page, help us reach this goal. The proceeds from this shoot will go into very worthy organizations that are local here in Alabama, as well as organizations I've been fortunate to be involved with in Phoenix, Arizona, such as Fix the Hurt and the National Advocacy and Training Network. I have dear friends that have gone through that program and are thriving right now. I have volunteered in many capacities with them, and Fix the Hurt is online on Facebook. John and Linda King created that after their daughter Lisa was murdered. So it's time to rise up, people. And I know that there's a lot of shame surrounding domestic violence, but the life that is waiting on the other side is absolute magic. So if you are in a situation, and I'm talking to those that may have just come in here by accident, you're not at fault. You didn't cook it wrong. You didn't do it wrong. You didn't fender bend it wrong in a traffic stop. You didn't roll your eyes wrong. You didn't do anything to deserve what he or she is doing to you. I want you to hear me loud and clear. You did nothing to warrant this. This all lies on them. And there is life waiting for you. If you need to talk or need someone to talk to or reach out to that can help you, my inbox on Facebook never closes. Trust me, never closes. I think that there's someone in my life who's asleep right now that probably wishes that my Facebook were not open all the time, but it is. So reach out to me at kate@katedostermedia.com. Find me on Facebook. I'm on everywhere on social media under Kate Doster Media. I'm not that original, so I didn't change stuff. Look me up, find me, friend me. No one's a stranger to me. I love everyone. So thank you for watching this, for sticking with me. Please share this. Please consider donating. Even $1, $5 is going to help us reach this goal. And we're going to do an awful lot of good with this. And to the models, and to the hair and makeup artists, to the team, to the designers, the stylists, everyone I've been talking to, this is not my story. This is our story. This is our ancestors' story who didn't have anyone to talk to. And I'm so privileged to be doing this for all of us. So thank you. God bless. Good night.